You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It's March 22nd, 2016. It is another episode of the Impact Implosion. I am Seth Draken, and on the other end of the tin can and string, the Easter to my bunny, Mr. Mike Poland.
I do like some Cadbury cream eggs, I will say that.
The Cadbury cream.
Anyway, we got news before we get into the
News! Yeah. The biggest news we got to talk about, Bobby Roode and Eric Young are gone.
How long before they're in NXT?
What?
But how long before they're both in NXT?
I don't know, but yeah, that's basically why apparently they asked for the release. Besides the financial issues, I guess one of the things might be the James Storm getting paid that much money, and they were like, can you pass some money down our way? No? Well, then fuck this.
Nope, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We gotta pay Matt Hardy.
Yeah, we got a lot of money issues, late fees. Apparently a lot of money issues with the staff was really an issue. And they were just tired. And the product being more, and apparently because of this, the locker room morale is really low right now. Talent is
locker room morale in TNA is low? You don't say.
And
That's
talent is
never
questioning the company's directions. Meanwhile, Cherry Bomb has signed with TNA.
Yay! She was on Knockouts Knockdown.
Yes.
Which will air on April 22nd.
Davey Richards has said he has no interest in going in WWE.
And I'm sure they have no interest in him either.
Yeah, I think after your NXT tryout, I don't think they have any interest in you. They there's a reason you were in TNA. They think they turned you down. And if anyone forgot, Mike is no longer in TNA. He's in New Japan.
And everybody forgot.
Yep. Oh, and Kurt Angle completed the UK tour with a freaking concussion.
Oh, that concussion.
Of course.
Yay.
And several former TNA and current TNA stars, like Jeff Hardy, Rob Van Dam, Kevin Nash, have said they will donate their brain to CTE.
I'd love to see the CTE of Jeff Hardy's brain.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be fun.
Kevin Nash, maybe too.
It's just going to, with Jeff Hardy's brain, it's just going to be a bet of how much concussions there is, how much his brain's fucked. There ain't going to be, is his
better
brain
off
fucked?
or worse off than Chris Benoit.
No, I don't know, but yeah, a lot of wrestlers now are going into, like they said, we're going to donate our brain because.
The only other one I'd like to see donate his brain is Scott Steiner.
No, you'd find a lot of steroids in Scott Steiner's brain. Seriously, you'd find a lot of steroids, not concussions. If you do the autopsy, steroid shit would pop out.
Maybe Edge.
What the hell? Oh, it's steroids.
Anyway, and on the Impact.
His bloodstream.
Oh, the ratings blast for last week's show. Up, it looked like.
They were up, yeah. They were up. I guess Drew Galloway means they're up. Matt Hardy, ratings bad. Drew Galloway, ratings good. EC3, ratings good.
It's something new, and it's not a retread of 10, 15 years ago.
It's not Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy is probably now has eclipsed Eric Young as the least drawing champion. Speaking, who's gone now, Eric Young.
And TNA will be taping more shows sometime in April.
Yep. More shows.
Yeah.
More shows.
Probably be around their time for Slammiversary build, whenever they're going to do that.
Yep. What are they going to do
anyway,
for...
on to the show. And about a 35-minute long opening segment.
By the way, someone mentioned this to me. Apparently Target has a product called Pillow Forts. We should get Pillow Forts.
Pillow Fort?
We should get Josh Matthews to be the spokesman for that.
I was going to say Teleport. You could get Bray Wyatt to be the sponsor.
Pillow Forge with Josh Matthews. Because that's where he was during the most of the Destination America run. He was in his
can't wait to talk about the whole stuff with Maria in the doghouse and how unenthused Josh Matthews was after on commentary.
Oh, yeah. Well, Maria kept... Well, he was more interested in Maria's dollhouse.
We'll get to that, though. We got a half-hour long opening segment to talk about first, though.
It wasn't a
bad segment. It was just long.
It was long? It was? I did not notice the time. I really did not notice it, so maybe I just wasn't looking at the time this time like I did that one.
It's not Matt Hardy talking for a half hour.
Yeah, true. It wasn't boring, so...
We started with Drew Galloway coming out and talking about...
And he said, well, it was chaotic. And I was like, well, yes, it was. In a clusterfuck kind of way. And Drew has a proclamation. That is, you to look at TNA differently. We need to look TNA differently. We cannot look at TNA what they do for you, but what you can do for TNA.
You signing the Constitution? You're from the UK. They might frown upon you doing that.
And here comes Matt Hardy and his cronies, and they call Drew Galloway a thief and a coward. I'm like, Matt...
Yeah, iconic, and I also sound like He-Man for some reason.
And Drew said, dude, I was just smarter that night. Matt, I was just smarter that night. You had everyone else taken out.
Except me.
I did an opportunity. I took an opportunity, and you had nothing against it. Yeah.
He pulled an edge.
And Matt's like, I want my return match. And Drew's like, fine, we'll do it right now. And then Jeff Hardy comes out. And Jeff's like, Matt, you got beat. I didn't get beat. I want the first shot. And Drew's like, fine. And then Jeff gets jumped by EY and Bram while the Matt Hardy stable jumps Drew. Where is EC3? EY is threatening to pile drive Jeff through the table, and in one of the most frustrating moments of the night, commercial break. Yes, EY's going to
pile drive him through the table.
Get somebody out here. Commercial break. Huh? And then we saw the AJ Styles commercial DVD, the DVD commercial.
And to add to that, Ring of Honor is releasing an AJ DVD too.
Yeah. After the commercial break, we find out Jeff was able to escape the pile driver through a table. This show is off to a bad start. You're like, huh? So
at least WWE would have shown us like a double feature of that or something.
I know, seriously. You're like,
this is what happened during the commercial.
Yep. Matt wants EY to pile drive Drew through the table, and here comes EC3. I guess you're a little late, Ethan. EC3's with a chair, and he's like, oh, Matt, nobody invited me to a punch party. Nobody's going to do a punch party without me. And EC3's like,
punch party.
You ain't the most deserving champ, Drew. I want my shot. Sorry, Jeff. I want the shot. So here comes Mike Bennett. And he says what I thought he was going to say. Who was the last person to pin Drew Galloway? Me! So I want the shot.
Which makes sense.
And Drew's like, everybody shut up. I'll bloody fight all of you. And here comes Dixie Carter. And she's like, y'all got to stop talking about you. Stop quick. We're going to do that. I like this fighting. So, and quick pointing at yourself, Matt.
Man, quit pointing at yourself.
We're gonna make a gauntlet match for tonight, and the winner gets the first shot at Drew Galloway.
Yeah.
So then we go to the back with James Storm and Bobby Roode talking about all the teams it could be, and James Storm's like, "How about America's Most Wanted? AMW takes our shots," and Bobby Roode's like, "But you wrestled for AMW and you wrestled for us."
What about Team Canada? Oh wait, you wrestled.
That makes no sense. And was like, "I wrestle for both teams? That would be awesome."
Teleportation. Hologram James Storm.
And then we get our first look at the gauntlet, which is a tumbler. Yes, we're ripping off the Royal Rumble here tonight.
Only if it's not Vince McMahon pulling out the numbers.
By the way, the first person to reveal who was the first person again?
Mike Bennett.
Mike Bennett, yeah. Because Maria touched the thing with her, tried to get magic powers and gave it to Mike Bennett. It was like, okay. Mike didn't react.
It's a tumbler, not a Ouija board.
And time for Beer Money's invitation to face any former tag team champions.
Boy.
And Robbie comes out. And of course, it's the fucking bromance.
Because why not?
And just to illustrate how much of a bad choice this was, the crowd is silent when this is announced. When they come out with a few small boos.
It's been a year since these two teams.
They couldn't even pipe in some cheers or anything. So they basically got the Conway pop.
Just look at them.
Yeah. So Josh and Pope, while this match starts, are trying to say, well, since this is the first time Robbie E has been here, we'll tell you what he's done.
On Pop.
He's been on Pop TV. Since it's the first time he's been on Pop. I'm like, in case you never watched the product before, and I'm like, Josh?
He's never done anything.
Josh, the only people who watch this show know who the fuck are Robbie E, have seen RVD. Have seen Robbie E. Not RVD. Fuck that. Well, they've probably seen RVD too. So, Bro Attack. Thank God James Storm saved us from a bromance title win. And then a DWI and Beer Money thankfully retains. This was fair.
It was fine.
So, backstage we have a Decay segment with Maria singing about the wolf standing alone.
Rosemary.
Hi-ho, the burial, the wolf stands alone.
Rosemary, not Maria.
Oh, God damn it. I did say Maria on my tweets. God damn it. It's Rosemary. Yes. Sorry, Rosemary. I had a moment there. I forgot.
Don't make me stick Abyss and Crazy Steve on you.
Oh, God. So
Nobody understands why we're together.
Abyss
you're right about that.
Abyss wants Eddie to accept a no DQ match against one of them. I smell a rat with this.
Well, it looks like Crazy Steve hasn't showered in a few months, so it could be him. Like
yes.
He's living in a sewer.
So then we have more Tumblr segments with EY talking about how he is God. And him and Bram are just in the Tumblr. And then freaking Willow shows up again, yet Bram missed him again.
Always showing up when Bram isn't looking.
Yes, seriously, this is the new thing. Willow might be a figment of EY's imagination, despite the fact we see Willow, and everyone, and even the announcers see Willow. So yes,
but Bram doesn't for whatever reason.
Yes, Bram's the only one who doesn't see Willow. We are doing the Winter, aka also Out Warrior segment with this shit.
Or Randy Orton, Bob Orton segment.
Yes, because if you're going to repeat anything, it's repeat those of they can't see it, but everyone else can. And then Rockstar Spud and Tyrus will also be the gauntlet they'll be up later. But, Eddie Edwards is coming out to accept the no DQ challenge, and Crazy Steve is going to wrestle, and I swear to God, I thought this was a trap, but Abyss no-showed. Where the fuck was Abyss?
Hiding somewhere.
We had a nice spot.
He ran into Joe Spark.
we had a nice spot where Steve did a running senton onto Eddie while Eddie was on the steps.
Wow.
Yeah. Then the fans want tables, but Crazy Steve is bringing in chairs instead. We want
Those aren't
tables.
tables.
Yeah, we want tables. And then
You're getting a fucking chair.
Crazy Steve does something I have never seen. He wedges a steel chair into every freaking corner.
I've seen it.
I've never seen it. So, and of course, no, I've seen him do it on one corner, but I've never seen him do it at every freaking corner possible.
And of course it backfires on him.
Yeah, he gets hit by all. His head gets rammed into all of them. But Rosemary
Tells me that's not going to hurt him very much.
Yeah, Rosemary pulls the ref off to stop the Steve from getting pinned. But Eddie Edwards wins anyways because Crazy Steve runs into Rosemary and Eddie Edwards wins with a cradle pin. And Maria's like, Gail, I pinned you last week, and I've got something planned tonight. And then Gail has changed nothing. It's like Gail changed nothing about the Knockouts division. Actually, she did in the beginning, but then she turned it back to being stale.
Yeah.
But then so next up is going to be Maria revealing her idea, the next step towards changing the Knockouts division. But we first see Dixie reprimanding Franklin for what he did to Josh and Pope. And you're like, look, he only got a fine before giving the turtle what he wanted, which we don't know what it is.
We'll find out.
Then we see EC3 and Jeff Hardy at the Tumbler, and EC3 says the title match last week was a kerfuffle.
A kabapple?
Kerfuffle.
That's a word.
Yeah, it is a word.
What does that mean?
Kerfuffle. It's a nice way of saying clusterfuck, a mess.
Okay.
So EC3 says, I'm number one.
I am number one.
I'm number one. And then here comes Kabuki Taker and Maria because this match is going to happen. No, it's not. Maria says, if I beat you again for the belt, this changes nothing. So I'm going to call out the Dollhouse, and I'm going to have the Dollhouse, you all break up because I'll give the winner.
Marty Bell speaks in Spanish to Gail.
Yeah, what's up? What, you kidding me? You're like, why would we break up? It's like, I'm giving one of you a title shot.
Which, when...
No honor among thieves. But the beginning of this match was very funny, as it basically Rebel is getting beat up by Jade and Marty. No surprise, as she was the last one in the group.
Yeah.
And then, for several minutes, it was these three same things. Jade and Marty argue, Rebel runs out at them, she gets beat up by the two of them.
It's like the spot in every Royal Rumble where the little guy runs up the two big guys. It's like Hurricane trying to chokeslam Austin and Rock at that one Rumble.
So they do,
You're not gonna do that.
All basically beat up each other. And there was a Tower of Doom spot, or as Pope called it, an electric chair spot off the top rope.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think Pope knows what an electric Tower of Doom is. That's what it's called. But Jade wins in the end. STO's both members.
They're pushing her, it looks like.
Yep. So Matt Hardy comes out as a conspiracy theorist. Not as good as Chris Jericho.
I wager.
Not as good as Chris Jericho, conspiracy theorist, or R-Truth, conspiracy theorist.
Don't what me.
And so they all pick their numbers, and Matt Hardy swaps numbers with Spud so he could get a good number. But
a la Ted DiBiase swapping numbers with Slick at the 1989 Rumble.
Actually, iconic Matt Hardy retweeted this and responded. Here's what he said. Not accurate to my quote of them, so you could get a good number. Not accurate. The badass at Rockstar Spud wanted my number so he could beat up more men in the gauntlet. Hashtag impact on Pop.
Mm-hmm.
Because yes, Matt Hardy said no. He wanted my number. He wants to beat up more people.
I'm sure that's the case.
I'm sure. But I do like that he took the time. Although Rosemary also took the time to retweet some of my posts too about the whole sting about the chairs and stuff. Grado and Shiro want to party, but they realize one of Grado's friends owes them both money.
Grado has friends?
Yes, apparently. He has Shira. He has Shira, obviously.
Yep, that's one friend.
Yes.
Things are probably going to get worse for Shira from here as if they couldn't already.
Here comes Drew Galloway, and I thought this was going to be the gauntlet, and Drew was saying, I've been hearing too much talking, so we need to stop talking and more action. And then Franklin comes out, and the fans chant, no more talking.
No more talking. Very apt chant for last week.
So Drew says, talked about the talking needing to stop, so here's more talking. Logic here. We need to stop talking, but we're going to talk anyway. We're going to talk about not talking.
And we're going to have last anime for 5 minutes.
He'll be in the gauntlet.
Oh, and Franklin's in the gauntlet.
Drew's like, well, come on, let's fight, Franklin. But here comes EC3, who is the second entrant. Wait, wasn't he number one?
Apparently, Lashley is an impromptu number one.
I know. I'm like, wait, EC3 said he was number one. So why is he number two? What the hell?
They forgot.
They forgot their own shit.
Whoops.
The third entrant is Rockstar Spud. So that was the real number Matt drew. Was number 3. So he took Spud's number. Although, according to Matt, Spud wanted his number. Wanted that number. So, basically, it was Spud and Franklin double teaming EC3. And the fourth entrant is Mike Bennett.
Oh, Mike Bennett.
Things aren't getting any better for EC3.
Basically, all the heels pile on until you get Jeff.
Didn't expect any allies. And I'm like, have you not been paying attention? There's two guys who have been in an alliance, and there's Franklin who just turned heel, and he was pissed at EC3. Yeah, there's going to be a freaking alliance.
Yep.
And then next,
and the heels pile in.
Fifth is Eric Young, and I thought Eric Young was going to join the alliance, but Eric Young's too fucking crazy for that.
I'm going to attack somebody.
I'm going to attack anybody. Fuck this. So, Tyrus comes out. I thought EC3's bad luck was going to continue, but Rockstar Spud got eliminated. And then we got a commercial break. And during that commercial break, Bram came in.
Yay!
Then we had a rash of eliminations where Tyrus, then Eric Young, then Bram were all eliminated. All by Franklin, and then Pope came out to eliminate Franklin. And fought him to the back.
Revenge. No, he eliminates Franklin, and Franklin gets back in, and EC3 clotheslines him out.
Yeah. And then Franklin and Pope fight.
Because that's what people want to see.
Yep. Matt Hardy is next. Another double team on EC3 because we're only 2 left after all that. So it's now Matt Hardy and Mike Bennett beating up on EC3. And the crowd, of course, in non-rhythmet, had no rhythm in saying Matt Hardy sucks. They tried to do the John Cena thing, but they failed.
They don't have John Cena's song to do it.
No, Matt Hardy sucks. Matt Hardy sucks. I was like, you guys have no rhythm to that. So, and then they did the Yes We Do chants. And then the final entrant is Jeff Hardy. So the 4 men are 2 heels and 2 faces. And unfortunately, freaking Josh is commentating alone. So, because Pope left. So Mike Bennett gets eliminated by EC3, and he pulls the Hogan on Sid Justice spot where he holds EC3's arm so Matt Hardy can eliminate him. So it's down to Matt and Jeff Hardy because, of course, the Hardys are last.
And Jeff wins.
Yep. Or we had at first a Twist of Fate by Matt Hardy, or as the fans chanted, Twist of Fat.
Twist of Fat.
They did do that.
Yes.
And Spud blocked Josh Matthews on Twitter People have been, he's like, no one tells me what to do. And Spud's like, people have been telling you what to say for 13 years to hide your foul personality. Blocked.
For 13 years?
Yeah, he's been in the business for a while.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Josh, with WWE and,
Oh, Matthews. I thought they were talking Spud.
yeah, Matthews has been in the business for 13 years.
Oh, no, I know that. He was in Tough Enough.
I know, yeah, so Jeff Hardy eliminates Matt Hardy because Matt does a stupid thing. Jeff's on the outside, and Matt tries to pull him in.
Gee, that's a good move.
And so Jeff just goes under Matt Hardy and dumps him over.
And Jeff will get the title shot next week.
And Spud promised to riot TV time pending if Matt lost. But Drew claps, ends the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this show a C.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. There were some really not as bad as last week's Lester Fuck, or as EC3 calls it, a kerfuffle. But it was not a good show. It was okay. It's what you're used to with TNA. You can't really be pissed off too much about it because there is no expectations with this show. There really is not.
No. And do you have anything to tell?
Actually, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
This Saturday will be the induction of Blood Diner.
What is that?
It's a horror movie from 1987.
Okay.
So yes, that is all I have, and I will be revealing the next induction after that, which I didn't do a poll for because I already know what it is.
Yep.
So.
And I think that can be a wrap for this week.
So, Miley, we are heading to bed.
Good night, everybody.